All right, now when you get paged out your information, what are some of the things that come? Tell me what comes in there. You're going to a call. What information do they give you? Okay, so the reason you're going, right? And generally, the reason you're going, hopefully, if the CSR, the call taker, did a good job, it's the words of the homeowner, what the homeowner thinks is going on or they want done, right? That's very important because when we're on our way there, now we can decide what kind of call is this, all right? What other information do they give? Age of the house, that's great information. Your company goes above and beyond. That's great that they give you that. Now we can think, what codes were in play at that time? What type of devices do they probably have? Age of the panel, more than likely. All kinds of things. What else do they tell you? If you've been there before, especially if you have a software that you can look up. If you've been there before, that's even more helpful. Okay, so you can actually listen to the phone call with the homeowner? That's even better. Man, if you can do that, you could probably figure out a disk profile pretty damn quick before you even get there. What other information do they give you? How do you know that? Oh, with the phone call. Okay. Yeah, but that's good information. Now you're prepped to go in to handle that possible objection.
Time objections or call aheads and like to remind you 15, even though they get emails sometimes to old customers and say they want 15 minutes.
Oh, that's in there. They want a 15 minutes heads up.
15-minute call reminder or
Okay.
in the back door. Or
Yep, information like that. Yep.
dogs, wait for them to put the dog away.
Yep. So you guys are telling me a lot of description stuff. What else do they give you?
The address and the name.
These are some of the things we overlook, even the way Alan said it. Well, the name and the address. You guys, that's really good information. The name of the customer. Have you been there before? Do you remember that name? If you do remember the name, try to remember. What kind of disc profile? What were they like? Maybe you weren't trained in disc profiling, but now you are. What were they like? Oh, that guy was a D. Time's important to that guy. That guy's an I, or gal's an I. Oh, fun, got to make it fun. How can I make it fun? Right? Oh, they were an S. They were really quiet, didn't talk much. They were an S. Oh, others. Other people are important to them. Oh, that guy was a C. He wanted to know every detail. He wanted to know, manufacturer, model numbers, serial numbers. That guy's a C. Oh, data's important to that guy. No surprises. So the customer's name is very important. The other one is the address. Do you guys all have the Zillow app on your iPads or phones? If you don't, I would download the Zillow app. You can put in the customer's address and find out a ton of information about that house. Most of the time, there's actually pictures of inside the house, which is a little scary, in there. Me and my electrical service manager were thinking of actually creating a division where we would price install calls through Zoom and or through Zillow without going out to the house. So we practiced it. We took 4 calls that we were actually going to run, and we Zillowed the house. On all 4 calls, we could price the job without going there, just off the pictures. That's powerful. You can see a lot of stuff. You can find a lot of things about that house. All right? So, Zillow the house. Sometimes with the address through your city website, you can actually type in the address and it'll tell you every permit that was pulled on that house through your city. Not every city has it. But now you can see if they just pulled one in the last 5 years for an air conditioner and plumbing work and all this stuff, you're like, okay, these people like to take care of their home. They're fixing their home up. So that's really good information to go through. On Zillow, sometimes it'll tell you if it's a rental property or not. How many times have you got to the house and it's a rental property, it doesn't say it in your notes, they didn't even tell the CSR it's a rental property. Sometimes in Zillow you can find out if they just bought the house, they're brand new homeowners. Most people spend the most money in the first, 4 or 5 months of owning their house than they do for the next 10 or 15 years or something like that. That's good information to know. They don't know anything about their house. You get to educate them all kinds of stuff now. I know the Patrick Kennedy who started the Mr. Sparky franchise. When he found out that a customer just bought the house, he would send a technician to buy an apple pie and bring it with him. How do you not buy a job from a guy who brought you an apple pie for moving into your house? It's hard to say no to that guy, right? So it's good to know. It's good to know that information. So we have access to a ton, so don't rule out the name, don't rule out the address. Those are very important things. Think of it like an attorney. If you're going into court and you have the name, the address of the person you're going against and the information, do you just walk in with that, or do you research the hell out of everything you have? That's what they do. An attorney goes into court, they research the customer, the address, the house, the information. They research everything before they go to court. You should be the same way. You should research everything you can before you go into that house. Go in prepared, as much knowledge as you can. All right? So don't rule that information out. It's very important. What's the type of call? Is it a repair call? Is it an install call? Is it an inspection? Is it a callback? What is it? Because now we can mentally prepare ourselves. Do I need to sell a diagnostic on this house? How am I going to build value? How am I going to build urgency? Why does this customer want you in their house? We'll get to this when we get through our panel, when we start talking about our panel question sheet. How many people run safety inspections? Raise your hand if you run safety inspections in here. Okay, or club membership inspections, that type of thing. Quite a few of you do. If you ask your customer why they want a safety inspection, what do you think the number one answer is?
Peace of mind. It's free because it's included.
It's included, I'm a club member, or I've seen an advertising. Those are the three things they'll say. Is that really why they want a safety inspection done? No. So they don't even know why you're there. We have to change their mindset now. I'm not there because you're a club member. I'm not there because you've seen an advertisement. I'm not there because it's included with something. I'm here for safety, reliability, or energy efficiency, one of the three. That's why I'm here. But we got to get them to understand that. So what I'm getting at is if you don't know why you're going to the house and they don't know why you're going to the house, it's going to be tough to sell stuff, right? We'll get into that. Again, should I be prepared to sell a diagnostic, like a callback or a warranty? Callback, we should be selling a diagnostic every time. We'll get into how to do that. Is there a travel charge listed? If yes, is it waived? Is it not waived? Is it a club, a not club? Like every company does a little bit different. Some people waive them, sometimes they don't. If they're a club, sometimes they do. If they do work, sometimes they do. Everybody does all this different stuff. But no. Okay, I need to leave, in this case, I need to leave money, or with the house with money today. Some type of travel charge, or I got to sell the job, or both, right? Pull up the call history. We talked about this. TV and U. Can anybody tell me what the T in TV and U stands for? What? What? Time? No, trust. What's the V stand for? Value. And what does the U stand for? Urgency. And this is where most technicians fail. We're really good at trust and value. Usually we're really good at building that. It's the urgency we have a problem with. If you don't know why they should buy it today, they don't know why they should buy it today. So when you're on the way to the home and you have all this information, start thinking, how am I going to build urgency? Why should they buy it today? Is it because we're really busy and our schedule is going to be full, so they need to get on the schedule today, otherwise they might not be able to get out there for a couple of weeks? Are we getting into storm season? Is this product hard to find? Do I have to order something? Is it going to be dangerous to leave them with this problem? Why? Why should they buy it today? What's the urgency in it? Okay? TV and you. Don't forget the you. We got the Zillow pull-up permit history. Okay. Another thing I see on here with this closing rate, and I know we talked about time management, but statistically you have up to 50% more of a chance of closing the job if you're on time or early. If you're struggling with your closing rate, if you're not at least on time, that's the first thing you need to fix. For several different reasons. If let's say, and I know the second or third call of the day you can't control, but we can generally control the first call of the day. So if you have an 8 to 11 time slot and you show up at 8:20, what does the customer think? What? You're late, but why do they think you're late? The number one reason is they think you slept in and or basically you don't care. Do you think my closing rate's going to go down if a customer thinks I don't care about them? Yeah, and that's what they automatically think. That's their automatic go-to. Do you think it'll help just to be on time? Yes. Now, let's just say that it didn't affect that part. So you got there, let's say you got there at 8:30 instead of 8. And that customer had to leave at 11:30. Or let's say they had to leave at 11. And you just got to the point of presenting at 11. What are you going to do? They have to leave. You did your diagnostic, you wrote up your options, it's at 11 o'clock, and they have to leave. What are you going to do? You're going to rush. More than likely. And they're going to be rushed, and you're going to be rushed. And who wins when you rushed? Nobody wins. What if you got there at 8? Then you would have been there at that point at 10:30. You would have had a half hour to present those 3 options. But you were late. So not only does it affect how you look showing up to the house, now you may lose time later to meet with the customer. Do you think your closing rate will go down? Yeah, of course it will. For sure, your average ticket. So being on time is the most important thing. If you are struggling with closing rate, I would be on time or I would be early. That same scenario, what if I showed up at 7:50? I would now have 40 minutes to present those options with that customer instead of 0 by being a half hour late. 10 minutes is a long time of extra time to present options with my homeowner. Okay? And then you go into later. Remember what I talked about earlier about clearing your call first and then you the next one? Well, if you're running late, guess who doesn't get the third call? You, because you're the last one to clear your second call. Now you just lost another opportunity. And think of this time slot after time slot, day after day, year after year. Can you imagine how that's affecting you? Like you could be losing tens of thousands of dollars of income just because of these little things. You're just coming 10, 20 minutes or 30 minutes late to your call. I have technicians that show up to the call at 9 a.m. It drives me absolutely nuts. They're behind 60 minutes for the day. And nothing's gone wrong yet. How many times do things go wrong on our jobs? Probably half the time something goes wrong, right? Wire doesn't fish through the wall, a drill bit breaks, you didn't stock your truck. I don't know, all kinds of things can go wrong. We're an hour behind for the day, and we haven't even, nothing's gone wrong yet. All right? And you don't want to start the call in the hole. So, how much time we got, Wes? Where are we at? 10 minutes left? Yeah. Okay. So think of it as a scale. So we got a 1, 3, 5, we'll say 8, and 10. Okay. If your time slot is 8 to 11, what do you think people are going to be doing at 8 o'clock? They're going to be looking out the window, more than likely, at 8 o'clock. And you're not there. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, they said it was an 8 to 10 time slot, so that's fine. So then at 8:15, they look out the window. You're not there. Where does their anxiety level start going? Starts going up. What happens at 8:30 when they look out the window and you're not there? Now it goes up again. All right, so at 8:30, where do you think we're at, anxiety-wise, between 1 and 10? We're probably at a 3 if it's only 10, 15 minutes, right? Now 9 o'clock comes. You're still not there. We're in our window. According to you technicians, well, I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm showing up in my window. What happens at 9 o'clock? Our anxiety level is probably like at a 5. Now when you do arrive, you're in a hole. Look at the hole you're in. Like, you got to try to get this person from a 5 back to 1 just to get to neutral. You got to work that much harder and build up that much more rapport and try to sweet talk your way to this person liking you after they already think you don't care about them, or you're lazy, or you chose to sleep in, or whatever thing they come up with in their head for you not being there. And this is real life. This is what happens. What happens at 9:30? We're like here. 9:30, 10, we're like here. But you guys are still in your window. Why is it your fault? But this is real life. Like, can you imagine if you got there at 9:30, how hard you're going to have to work to get this person back to a 1? And worry about how much time they have to spend with you after you've done your diagnostic and your options and your show and tell and all these things. You're just literally stabbing yourself in the leg. Like, that's what you're doing. You're hurting yourself. So now, what happens if at 7:45 they look out the window and you're sitting out front? Do you see the difference now, guys, from a customer's perspective, how different that is? And this is happening every day with you guys. Every day this is happening. Okay? So, the top reasons people are scared when you're coming out, one, they honestly don't always think you're going to be able to fix the job. Do you know that? That's one of the biggest fears of homeowners. They literally don't think you're going to be able to fix it. Another fear is what? Price. Another fear is what?
Getting it done that day, maybe.
Maybe getting it done, but the biggest thing is, am I going to get ripped off? It's different than price. The price can be high, ripping off is another thing, right? And do you know what the next one is? Are they going to show up? Because every homeowner's heard the horror stories of contractors not showing up. And you're one of them, whether you like it or not. And when you don't arrive till 9:30 or 10, that he's not showing up mentality comes up. What happens if you call in sick at 10 o'clock to your office and the dispatcher has to call the customer and say, we're not coming? Now where's the anxiety level? We're like down at a 10. Whoop, we're down at a 10. And now you might have to be the poor bastard to go out there the next day it's rescheduled and try to somehow get this person that we totally didn't show up to and didn't tell them until 10 o'clock that we're not coming, if they're nice enough to reschedule with our company. Now you got to go back out there and try to recuperate all that. And this is what dispatchers have to deal with every day. Every day they have to deal with this stuff. So the more we can be up here, the better. The better. Now you might be like, Kent, but what about meeting days? I can't get there at 8 o'clock because our meetings don't end until 8 o'clock. Who's thinking it? Come on. Raise your hand. I know. Okay. Here's what usually happens. Because, again, we're in our technician mentality, we show up in our window, we're okay, but we just proved that that's not true. What if we think the customers think we don't care about them, or we're lazy, or we slept in, or whatever those things are, that's what our homeowners are thinking. What if we told them we were at a customer service meeting that morning? The problem is we don't tell them why we're late. We just show up and we think it's okay, we're in our window. If it was me, I would show up, I'd say, I apologize, Mrs. Jones, I didn't get here right at 8. We had a customer service training this morning. I've actually been working for 2 hours at this point. Do they think you're lazy now? Do they think you don't care? Do they think you slept in? All those go straight out the window. Now you actually elevated yourself. You work for a company that actually has customer service training. What electrical company has customer service training? I didn't even know that was a thing. And you've been working for hours this morning. Now you just took yourself from down here. You started here. You were here, and you just brought yourself up to here. But we got to tell them. They don't know we were at training that morning unless we tell them we were at training that morning. Even if we get there at 8:05, we should tell them that. Okay? So don't keep your meetings a secret to the homeowner. Don't call it sales training. Call it customer service training, because that's really what it is at the end of the day. Now I hired a company that has customer service training. All right? Call ahead to your customers. Do you guys call ahead, or your dispatchers call ahead?
They got like a text message, like the homeowner.
Oh, they get a text. You don't call them?
In case we're good.
Okay, both? All right. We want to give them a heads up that we're coming. Whatever way that is, let's give them a heads up. But if you are the company that actually calls, you the technician, calls the homeowner, that's your first impression. They may have got a little bio about you or something through a software, but really the first impression is the phone call. And so we want to be happy on this phone call. This is the first impression. We're going to a job interview, and we want to make a friend. So if we're going to a job interview and we want to make a friend, we have to kind of sound happy that we're going there. So it can't be, this is Doug from XYZ Electric, I'm on my way, should be there in about 10 minutes. Nobody wants that guy coming to their house. But I'll bet half of you sound like that when you call them. Or instead it's, hey, happy Tuesday, Mr. Jones, how are you today? Oh, good, so I see you have some outlets not working, not a problem, I'll get those taken care of. I should be there in about 30 minutes. Will that work for you? Yeah, I'm here. Great. I hang up, and I know I'm going to be there in 20 minutes. I told him 30 minutes. I just made myself early. Now I made myself early. And subconsciously, that customer will trust me more because I got there in 20 minutes when I told him it was 30 because I'm early. Because it's burnt in customers' mind that people who are early are more trustworthy. Okay? So if you're the type of if you call ahead, you should do that. And owners and managers in the back, if you have dispatchers or CSR calling for them, they should do the same thing. They should be trying to get their technicians to arrive early from what they're telling the customers. Okay?